Hey y'all, it's me, Bussy Twigs, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be breaking down the controversial reception of the All-Stars 10 finale and Minj's crowning, as seen through the lenses of fans on IMDb, outspoken queens like Roxxxy Andrews, and popular media outlets like Entertainment Weekly, which has got a great interview with Minj post-crowning. Then we're going to be taking a deep dive into some drama involving Willam and Mistress Isabelle Brooks, which may be on its way to getting just a little bit out of hand. Regarding Minj in the All-Stars 10 finale, first, I think we all need to take a collective deep breath. Because Minj is a world-class talent, and I think deserves a little more appreciation from the fan base as a whole. Her run in All-Stars 10 was incredible, and she's been entertaining us on RuPaul's Drag Race in some form or fashion for over 10 years now. And while I think it's totally fine for us to acknowledge things like favoritism and heavy-handed production on All-Stars 10, I don't think it's okay to discredit Minj as a deserving winner. That said, it's no secret a large portion of the fan base is upset with the results of the lip-sync smackdown for the crown, and of course the larger story arc of Minj winning the season. In a post-crowning exclusive interview with Entertainment Weekly's Joey Nolfi, Minj got real about her feelings. In one part of the interview, Joey asked Ginger, "You alluded to Wicked saving your life in the hospital. Is that applicable to the competition too?" Where Ginger says, "I felt like Elphaba throughout the entire competition because it felt like I had all these powers I didn't have a grasp on at the beginning of the season. Particularly by a lot of the fan base, it was kind of like a witch hunt. People didn't want to root for me, and it felt like I had to be my biggest critic and my biggest cheerleader." And in another question she's asked, there was chatter among fans and Rue girls that the competition seemed to favor you. How did you feel about that, and how did it impact you watching that unfold? Where Ginger says, "I wish I could say I don't let it bother me, but I do. Of course I care about what people think, particularly when it's a project I put all of me into." What made me laugh a little bit and gave me some solace was the fact I've done this competition 3 previous times, and RuPaul hasn't had an issue putting me in the bottom, making me lip sync for my life, and not giving me a crown. There's never been an instance where I was favored throughout the past. Once I was announced for All-Stars 10, before the first scene of me ever rolled, the chatter started. They built the narrative for themselves. It gave me a bit of peace. All I can do is my best and live in the success of the moment. Which I thought was a particularly salient excerpt because Ginger has been a finalist twice in the past and wasn't crowned. And I don't think looking back was shown any favoritism in her prior seasons. But I do think in those past seasons, she was alongside other cast members who, like herself, were similarly great at Drag Race. Which means being great in comedy challenges and generally making RuPaul laugh. And All-Stars 10 generally lacking a casting of other comedy queens probably did make it feel to us as viewers like the show was favoriting her, because a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race does boil down to who can make RuPaul laugh the most. And in another excerpt from this interview, Ginger admits that she had no idea what the Rate Queen thing was from the finale lip sync smackdown. Regarding the Rate Queen system, she said, "I've heard of it, but what is it? Lydia is trying to break it all down for me in the hallway. I was going to walk in there and look a fool." And I pointed out in my finale review video that I found it strange several of the queens didn't understand how the Rate Queen rankings were going to impact the bracket seeding. And because the producers didn't even bother to explain to Ginger what this system was, it again makes me wonder if the rankings that the queens submitted were ever even calculated or used to create the bracket seeding, or if that was all just some crazy nonsense facade by the producers. And regarding future plans post-crowning, she's asked if she would return for all winners, to which she says, "Absolutely. I'll show up for anything. I want to come back as a Snatch Game mentor. Some of the girls in our Vegas show were like, if I ever get the All-Stars call, will you help me for Snatch Game?" And considering the next steps in her career, she's got Broadway as her ultimate goal. Where she even teased that after the talent show from All-Stars 10 aired, she had a Broadway producer contacting her to see how they could get her on the stage. And lastly, she ends the interview by saying she wants to be hopeful for people. That's all she's ever wanted. And next up, let's take a look at how the larger fan base has reacted to the finale of All-Stars 10. An article published on The Tab writes, "The All-Stars 10 finale is the worst rated episode of Drag Race ever." And firstly, I do need to point out here, this headline is a little misleading because traditionally when people or media outlets are talking about television ratings, they're talking about Nielsen audience viewership numbers, which estimate the number of people who tuned into a given episode of a television series. And those Nielsen ratings can be used to, let's say, sell advertisement slots or justify a series renewal. However, what this headline and article are actually talking about are the IMDb ratings, which are simply fan-made reviews of a given piece piece of content, which have no meaningful impact on the business side of a television series. And while IMDb ratings, or fan reviews we really should call them, are fun to look at and something we even talk about often on this channel, I think it's important to remember that these ratings are heavily biased. Like, only the most diehard fans of a show are going to be logging into IMDb to review an episode of a series they're watching, and episodes of series that provoke bigger reactions, either positive or negative, are going to get a lot more ratings than ones that don't. But in the context of IMDb, yeah, this article headline is absolutely correct. The fans have completely and totally review bombed this finale to hell and back. Like, for this episode to have an IMDb rating of 2.3 is absolutely insane, because it is the lowest rated episode of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars across every season ever made. It's lower than the Trixie crowning finale, which was very controversial at the time and has a rating of 4.5, and even lower than the All-Stars 4 double crowning, which has a rating of 3.6. The chart I'm showing on screen, by the way, was posted by Reddit user Prince of Punjabi and has a great little color-coded key to explain if the episodes were good or garbage. But yeah, this 2.3 average score is gaggy. But does this IMDb rating actually matter to anyone other than to the fans who are upset? No, it doesn't. And in fact, I would actually argue that if the producers are even looking or paying attention to IMDb ratings, that this low score and number of fans reviewing the episode would actually tell the producers to do more of what they did in the finale. Because the firestorm of discussion surrounding this season and its finale has been a lightning rod for viewership. When people aren't happy with something they're seeing on their TVs, they go online and they talk about it. They commiserate. And in the current area of media oversaturation, that is actually only a good thing. According to an exclusive piece published by The Wrap, Friday's lip sync SmackDown for the Crown marked the highest rated finale in 3 years for the Paramount Plus reality competition show. The episode saw an 11% increase in total viewers versus last year's season 9 finale. Plus, the new Tournament of All-Stars format also gave the All-Star season 10 an overall 15% increase in viewership across 12 episodes versus last season. And The Wrap also reports, elsewhere, season 10 was also the #1 most socialized streaming season of Drag Race All-Stars ever, with 19 million interactions, up 61% versus season 9. The final season 10 episode itself was up 4% on social, with 4.1 million impressions versus the season 9 finale. And let me just tell y'all, when the producers see these numbers right here, they are seeing dollar signs. More eyes on Drag Race and more discussions about it means more ad slots that they can sell, and on the positive side of things, probably more seasons that they can make. But let's go ahead and take a look at what some of the more outspoken queens like Roxxxy Andrews thought about this finale and crowning. No offense to any winner, y'all were great, but what the hell is going on with not wanting to crown a Latina? Like, it's to the point where I'm pissed, because we have deserved it just as much, if not more. This is the 3rd season where we had first runner-up in a row. WTH. Like, I know we have Bianca Del Rio and Violet Chachki, I heard has some Latin, but come on, what do we have to do? I never say shit, but I'm done staying silent. This is not to discredit any winner once again, but let us count how many Latinas have been told no ma'am. Candy Muse, Nina Flowers, Jules Sparkus, Alexis Mateo, me, shall I continue? Georges now? I will no longer support the show till I see you do better. At RuPaul's Drag Race, at World of Wonder, I love you all, but I can't make sense of it anymore. Sorry. A user on Twitter questioned what she was saying, writing, Roxxxy, I love you so much, but Auntie, let's not do injury and Anya like that. My girls deserve their win, but I agree, Candy and Georges were raw. To which Roxxxy responds, baby, we're not talking about any queen in particular. Did you not read my post? This is how shit starts getting messy. It's a matter of opinion, but why is the opinion always anyone but a Latina? And then a couple days later, she tweeted this out, baby, the way some of y'all have twisted what I was calling out is crazy. I thought I had a hard time reading. I guess my education wasn't as bad as I thought. For the 90% that got it, thank you for understanding and fighting for the representation. Love you. We also saw some other pretty unhappy reactions to this crowning from queens like Scarlet Envy, who on the night of the episode airing wrote gross on their ex profile, and Megami, who wrote a post saying, honestly, this could have been an email, with the screen cap of the Nina Benina Brown well it's over me. On a post with the Georges versus Ginger lip sync, we saw Kerri Colby write, the way that little angel's twirling is cut and she still won. And more on the positive side of queens reacting to the crowning, we saw queens like Mayhem make this post. Watchers of the show need to remember this is a TV show. When Ru calls, you should always accept the invitation because you might not get another chance. Be entertained and celebrate the LGBTQ representation that we have on TV because not too long ago it didn't exist. Make your winner feel like a winner even if they don't win. And you can do that without tearing down someone else. Buy their music, merch, like and share their content, request that they are brought out to your bars and clubs, demand they are on tours that come to your cities. 5, your opinions mean nothing, but your dollars support engagement engagement and participation does. And Corey King posted this to her X profile. What's up, Twitter? Are the haters still mad at our reigning queen Ginger, or did they finally download the Indeed app? Where Ginger actually responded, they still mad, sis, they still mad. And next we've got Willam speaking out again about her perceived mistreatment by World of Wonder on season 4 and beyond. A couple days before the All-Stars 10 finale, the Mom YouTube account published a video called RuPaul's Drag Race Mistreated Us, featuring Willam for the show R&R with Courtney Act. And if you watch season 4, follow Willam, or listen to Race Chaser, you probably know about a lot of the beef Willam has with World of Wonder. But she is here again in this new podcast episode with Courtney, talking about her legacy of mistreatment, where she starts all the way at the beginning on season 4, talking about how the PAs were talking down to the queens.
They treated us very poorly on set. When there were 12 of us left, we were given $75 in cash to eat. That wasn't enough for 12 men. They didn't know our names. They called Latrice La Somethings 3 times on a walkie. I was like, no, you need to learn our names. You're making money off of us. We don't let straight people disrespect us and call us he, she's, or whatever else they were calling us, because there was all that kind of talk. It was 2012.
And Willam alleges that the mistreatment of queens by production on the set of RuPaul's Drag Race continued for many years beyond 2012.
Then when they started fucking with other girls' time and money, like when they didn't pay Alyssa for Alyssa's Secret, I got paid because they knew if they didn't pay me, I'd talk shit about them. They didn't pay you until you asked. That's how this company thinks they should treat drag queens.
But it seems her biggest issue with World of Wonder is that her spot in All-Stars 2 was apparently taken from her last minute. A spot which she says she was led to believe she held up until 40 hours before it was time to start filming.
They knew Fifi wasn't going to be at All-Stars. They let me think that whole month leading up that I was going to be on All-Stars and gave me the list and everything. 2 days before I'm supposed to be there, like, yeah, it's not going to work. And they said, you have no stakes with any of the other cast members. They just left it till 2 days before. 40 hours.
Willam does maybe seem to be turning a new leaf on her feelings about World of Wonder, though, and instead of trash-talking them in the present tense, does seem to be more supportive of their legacy and impact on queer culture, because she talks about how she's always gonna love the World of Wonder products and how she's always and forever gonna love RuPaul, but also says that 2 things can be true. She can love their products and RuPaul, while at the same time holding them accountable for their past actions. And she seems generally at peace with having burnt the bridge with them, as long as she says the bridge burning can help others not fall into the same traps that queens once did many years ago.
I am okay with burning the bridge to light the way if it helps others not fall in the same traps that are set by the people that can give them big breaks.
Some other potentially new tea Willam talks about in this podcast is she is apparently banned from all Viacom properties, including MTV, E, Comedy Central.
How do you know that?
Comedy Central, because I'm banned. They've told my representation, we can't have him. We love him, but we can't have him.
I also found this podcast interesting because it contained a quip from Willam, which quite possibly was the straw that broke the camel's back in the Willam versus Mistress Isabelle Brooks drama saga. At one point in the podcast, Courtney compliments Willam's appearance and Mistress catches a stray when Willam says this.
You are pretty.
Thank you.
We're not like the Mistress Isabelle Brooks show. Frumpa dumps in t-shirts and some contour.
And before we go any further, I want to quickly remind you can access exclusive content that I post on my Patreon by clicking the link below, and or access exclusive spicy content by DMing me on Instagram and asking for my spicy link. Which brings us to the discussion of Mistress Isabelle Brooks versus Willam, as fueled by Mistress's latest YouTube video, The Beatup, featuring Willam confronting my biggest fan. And y'all, this video is pretty crazy. And I don't think I've seen such a targeted and personal takedown attempt of one particular person on YouTube like this since the beauty YouTuber Dramageddon insanity of 2019 involving James Charles and Tati Westbrook. And the crazier thing about this video was I was half expecting Willam to show up at some point, because Mistress brings a lot of people she has conflicts with on her channel, but that's not what this video was. Oh, at all. The opening segment alone had me mouth agape gasping at what I was watching, where we got Mistress banging her head to a backing audio track of Willam talking shit about her on various podcasts and interviews.
The girls don't like her. There's a reason she was kicked out of the group chat. She's a bully. You can't trust her.
We know that she likes to throw tantrums. She was abrasive and combative.
These are quotes from other girls.
But before we talk about what Mistress said, I want to comment that I think the style of this video is actually pretty genius for what it is. It's set up as a parody of Willam's old YouTube show, The Beatdown, where Willam would do jokes about viral internet clips while standing in front of a green screen, a la Tosh.0.
This is Bussy Queen. She's a Vancouver queen, I think. She's really great. She's gonna expose the season 14 contract dolls.
But pretty quickly, I realized this video was not just gonna be a lighthearted roasting, but an actual full-on total wig snatching follicle by diabolical. In the video, Mistress comes for Willam's statistical irrelevancy by showing her YouTube video views are way down. She also talks about how Willam clings to RuPaul's Drag Race for relevancy and makes fun of the fact that Willam couldn't know anything about modern day production, despite claiming to, because she hasn't even been on the show in 12 years.
You were on Drag Race 12, 13 years ago, babe. Give it up. You don't know as much as you think you do.
Where she also takes a jab at Willam spreading baseless gossip that she's heard from friends of a friend of a friend.
And like most things that come out of her mouth, spews a bunch of bullshit and recounts of stories from a friend of a friend of a friend that turns out to be lies and incredibly over-exaggerated.
She also makes fun of how Willam does crazy publicity stunts like standing in line at meet and greets at DragCon to meet RuPaul and then getting kicked out. She also makes fun of Willam's appearance, says she has no credibility to be reviewing RuPaul's Drag Race in the first place.
You make a living reviewing Drag Race when that should not even be on the table, bitch. You look a mess. You look the fucking fool.
And also calls Willam a sociopath for her Reddit activity, where you can see on her account that she basically replies to any thread on Reddit that mentions Willam's name.
You, my dear, are just a flat out liar and a sociopath.
And Willam has had a wide range of opinions about Mistress since season 15, where she originally didn't like her, then liked her, and then now again apparently doesn't like her as much.
You used to praise me all the time.
I love Mistress Isabelle Brooks. She's my favorite. She's entertaining. She's going to be around for years.
But what Mistress seems to really be mad about is Willam gossiping about Mistress's character off of the TV show, where she specifically cites that Willam has apparently been telling people Mistress is hard to work with and badmouths hosts at popular drag venues in LA like Hamburger Mary's.
But my issues with you lie in discussing things that are irrelevant to my TV persona. You have taken multiple jabs at my professionalism, and I've tried to make baseless claims that no one's gonna want to hire me, and the girls don't like me, and I'm a nightmare to work with.
Mistress Isabelle Brooks apparently went to Hamburger Mary's in West Hollywood and was introduced 3 times incorrectly on the mic, and Mistress got so mad about it. She was still mad the second time she went back to Mary's and said, "This is the place where the host can't even know my name."
Mistress also makes fun of the fact that Willam is apparently desperate to get on Mistress's YouTube channel to talk about the drama, which Mistress says will never happen.
Just like when I called you and checked you a few weeks ago after you went and talked shit about me at Roscoe's, and your reply was, "Oh, you can bring me on your YouTube channel, we can squash it there." Bitch, never in your wildest dreams.
And Mistress also calls out what she says are Willam's lies about turning down Moms, the media company partly ran by Willam, requests for appearances on Mom podcasts such as Race Chaser. Willam says MIB hasn't turned down any requests and none have been made, but MIB is able to show text message receipts from Willam herself inviting MIB to the Mom studios, and also from Big Dipper, one of the producers working with Mom, where he apparently asks Mistress to be a part of any of their drag shows, including Race Chaser, Sloppy, Very Delta, even Hall and Closet. I will say though, in this segment of the video, Willam's intent in talking about what Mistress has or has not declined in terms of requests to appear on Mom podcast is kind of unclear. And notably, Mistress is only showing messages from Willam and Dipper in this receipt segment, which is to point out it's unclear to me if Mistress directly declined any of these requests or simply just ignored them. And I only make this distinction here to point out that Willam may not be directly lying about Mistress turning them down, because she may have just been ignored, and I could see how Willam might perceive ignoring as not actually turning down, but I don't know. What do y'all think? Mistress also pulls up a Reddit thread where Willam claims to have never spoken to MIB except once last week, and then proceeds to show receipts of phone calls, texts, and Instagram DMs dating back to season 15. It is clear here, Mistress has the receipts. These two have spoken and been in contact for years now. Then in the last portion of the video, Mistress calls Willam a social climber, says she feels bad for Alaska because Willam is bringing her down, and again makes fun of her appearance. Finally, she takes aim at Willam for some comments she made at a Roscoe's viewing party a couple of weeks ago, where she said she would have belted MIB.
The last time you were at Roscoe's, you said you would have belted me and you wanted to get physical with me.
If they didn't kick me off then, I was gonna hit a girl, and I would have belted that.
Who?
I would have Mistress. I would have Tanisha's ass would have thrown her in a kick.
So make sure when you see me, you keep that same energy and run me that fade on site, baby.
Ultimately, this video is a pretty insane watch, and while I don't personally agree with the approach Mistress took here, I guess I can say I was very entertained by the content. And the clear message Mistress sent throughout this video to Willam was, don't with me. But I would love to know what y'all are thinking about all this in the comments below, because concerning RuPaul's Drag Race drama, we're kind of in uncharted territory. Normally we see heated exchanges in places like Twitter or maybe even some Instagram videos, but to have a full-on master-produced takedown, this is new. Hi from the future. So at the time of recording my original video on this topic, Willam hadn't yet responded to Mistress's Beatup, but we now have social media posts, comments, and a full-on YouTube video response from Willam to break down. Willam's main response to this drama can be found on her Instagram page, where she posted to her feed a video clip of Boy Is a Bottom, her parody music video of Girl on Fire by Alicia Keys that she recorded and posted originally back in 2013. And in the caption of that post, she wrote, "MIB said not to compete where you can't compare. 27 million views from Detox, Vicky Vox, and I. Comparison is the thief of joy, and I would never compare myself to MIB. Where would I even begin?" Comment below. Where first up, we've got a comment from Mistress writing, "I've always loved this video. I always loved anything with my fave Detox in it. Congrats on your amazing accomplishments." Where we see Willam responding, "At Mistress, you said I couldn't hold a candle to you, but I think you meant hold your Cankle girl. Really can't wait to see if you can make a video that's this epic. There's plenty of time to learn to rap or sing or tell a joke, and I bet Detox can give you some lessons. She did this rap in one take." We also saw an Instagram user responding to this post writing, "I love you, Willam, but she read you to filth. This ain't cutting it." Where Willam responds, "I'm not replying for your enjoyment. I'm posting this because someone said something that was actually incorrect, that I could never compare to them as a drag queen or an entertainer. I'm reminding them that I wrote this song, sang this song, directed the video, and gave Vicky and Detox the wigs for this video. This is my social media, and I'm an actual person. MIB is not someone I want to deal with for fun and have you as a color commentator while she spews whatever her mouth fabricates." Another user responded to Willam's video writing, "I mean, cute and all, but this is the exact point MIB was making. You was that girl then, but what about now?" Where Willam responds, "She said I couldn't hold a candle to her as an entertainer or drag queen, and I'm showing her that I clearly can. I do, and I will continue to." Today, we also saw Willam start to jump into the comment section of Mistress's Instagram post promoting her Beatup video, where one fan wrote, "Am I allowed to have a deep respect for Willam while also finding this profoundly entertaining?" Where Willam responded, "Yes, it's just drag." And we also saw on Mistress's post Krystal Versace, a winner from the Drag Race UK franchise, write, "Get her, Jade." And where we see Willam responds not directly to that comment, but in a comment of her own, writing, "My favorite part about this post is that the Krystal Versace took time out from pumping her chin to say, 'Get her, Jade.' This from the girl who sold a single-digit number of tickets to her show at the Chatham Grand, so World of Wonder had to film her at a group tour show to make it look like her tour was sold out. I forget if it was 7 tickets or 9, but she knows, and so do all the other UK queens. Ahura did not tell me this time either. LOL." We also saw Willam taking to her Instagram story to address this situation, and a repost of another Instagram user's story that read, "This crash out sounds like Trump when he rambles in defense of something stupid he just did or said," with a clip from Mistress's video. We can see Willam has written on top of that saying, "27 million views. You could never," at Mistress Isabelle Brooks. Then they're tagging the Boy Is About a music video. And in another story post, Willam wrote, "Also, I actually have never lost a lip sync on Drag Race. I'm just saying." And later on Wednesday afternoon, Willam ended up posting a YouTube video response to Mistress's Beatup called Willam Wednesday, where things Mistress said are played in high speed, and Willam attempts to refute or comment on what was said. Willam starts off with clearing the air on why she talks about Mistress so much and why Willam's had Mistress's name in her mouth, that being a big point and issue Mistress had with Willam in her video.
Did I talk about you on a TV show that I was on years ago? How heinous. I have no time to lease out any headspace to you, other than when you're on TV and I'm talking about you.
Then Willam brings up some text message receipts from their apparent shared management, where Mistress apparently was wanting to book Willam for a date in the fall, despite having just uploaded the Beatup video to her channel and attacking Willam.
The fact that you wanted me to go work in your club in Houston right after you did this video, same day you asked if I was available, just gives me false vibes. Like you're doing one thing for the audience, like being fake and starting drama and yelling at me, and then trying to book me on the same thing. Or is it so you can jump me or whatever?
Next, Willam says she has no shame in talking about Drag Race as part of her job and career.
It's so strange that you think my entire life and career revolve around a TV show. It doesn't. It's part of my world. I was on my favorite TV show, RuPaul's Drag Race, and now I have a podcast where I talk about it with a winner from the show. We love the show.
And throughout the video, we hear Willam discuss a Murray and Peter Drag Queen Christmas tour that Mistress apparently didn't get booked on.
Because you're mad that you didn't get booked on a Christmas tour because nobody wants you there because they don't want to work with you. We share people on the same same team and you're bothering them on a weekend because you weren't booked on a show and you think it's my fault? You're not on the Christmas tour because they didn't want you there, point blank. If they wanted to, they would have, but they've dealt with dramatic people already and they don't need drama on the tour. You're drama. Mary and Peter didn't hire you for the Christmas tour. That's not a claim, that's a fact.
And this too is a key piece of information that was, I think, missing from the Mistress video, because she alluded to the fact that Willam was sabotaging her career and causing her to not get bookings of some sort, but didn't name the event or showrunner. Now that we know Mistress was perceiving Willam to have been the one to have sabotaged her chances to be on this Christmas tour, a lot more of Mistress's video is making sense. And concerning the several many text messages sent from Willam and or Big Dipper about getting Mistress involved in the Mom podcasts, Willam kind of addresses that point, saying this:
Maybe you're just not cut out for this business if you can't handle all the requests. And a simple no. It's what Rupaul said to you when you tried to win that show twice.
And at another point in Willam's video, she attempts to address the sloppy seconds drama that was planted by Mistress.
If girls on your season tell me one thing and then you tell me the opposite thing, I'm more likely to believe them because you've proven yourself a liar. You do what you call scenes, where you make up stuff to rile up other people. Everybody knows you do scenes. You did it to Lucy LaDuca and Irene. You love your scene work, and that's fine, girl. Lie all you want, but don't get mad when people call you out for lying and say you're not a sisterly person.
Willam also addresses Mistress back and forth about whether Willam knows her or not, saying this:
Yeah, I said I don't know you. Just because I've texted you or DM'd you, that doesn't mean I know you.
Willam also clears up the waiting at DragCon to get a picture with RuPaul thing that Mistress talked about.
Oh, she's wrong. I didn't wait in RuPaul's meet and greet line. I walked through it, took a picture and left. There was no waiting.
And Willam ends the video asking why Mistress is so concerned with Willam talking about her.
If people ask me a question about you, I'm going to answer it. What I think of you does not matter, girl. Why are you so concerned?
And simply says that she won't stop talking about her.
Speaking about me in rooms that I'm not in because you don't know me.
No, I've never tried to sabotage your career. You're doing that just fine for yourself.
And look, I'm certainly not here to tell anyone to be on either side of this drama, because I don't really have a horse in this race and I'm just kind of sitting here eating my popcorn. But I do think we have to acknowledge that a lot of this stuff is very he said, she said type stuff that makes it very difficult to understand who truly is in the right or not over certain accusations. Whether or not it is actually Willam's fault or not that Mistress didn't get booked on this Christmas tour, who knows? And like, honestly, who cares? But I do find it interesting that Mistress perceives Willam to have that amount of power over her. And again, I'm not gonna sit here and say one queen is right and one queen is wrong, but I think what we can do is evaluate these two videos in entertainment value, and Mistress was plainly more entertaining. Mistress gave us a full-on production as absolutely balls to the wall insane as it was. However, I can also very much respect Willam's calmer approach to these topics in this video because there's a lot of serious stuff that was discussed. Anyways, I would love to know what y'all are thinking about all this in the comments below, because this could be like the biggest drama of RuPaul's Drag Race ever. Like, this is actually insane. And I don't expect this is the last we'll hear from this rivalry, but for now, I guess we can all say thank you to Mistress and Willam for the entertainment. But that's all I got for you, and never forget, all press is good press. Thanks for watching, and lastly, I want to give an extra special shout out to Kintastic, who's just joined my Patreon at the tier, and Ashton, Todd Loves Cayenne, Felicia, JBR, Laura, Matthew Burns, Mikal, Minst, and Will and Tanner, who are all supporting me at my Bussy Queen Collector tier at patreon.com. See you later. Love ya. Bye.